Hi guys, welcome to the Rule of Two, where the Star Wars news continues. I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
And we got some pretty interesting plot details from rumors from the set of number 8, of episode 8.
But we'll get to those in a minute.
But first, Terrence.
All right. So obviously on the Rule of Two, we try to give you as much Star Wars news that we possibly can. And I guess the biggest news that we have going on is George Lucas has actually announced his retirement. Now, it actually came in a form of a conversation where they asked about what his upcoming projects would be, and he said that he's not doing anything else. So I don't know if you call that an official retirement, but that's what he said at the time, that he said if he does anything else, it'll just be for him. So I don't know if that meant like a small project or something independent that he might be doing, but for the foreseeable future, we won't see George Lucas in any type of major motion picture coming up. So I asked the question to you, will Star Wars miss him?
Well, judging from the success of Force Awakens, no. It will not. The one that I'm curious about, as far as that's going to be potentially affected, is Indiana Jones, because he actually had a part in that franchise. So I think maybe that one. Welcome to the Star Wars show, by the way. But Indiana Jones might be the one that's more affected. Other than that, I don't think it's. Now you talked about the independent part. You talked about something original that he was going to start doing. Do you think that it's going to be towards science fiction? Or maybe create a different world outside of Star Wars?
Well, see, when they asked George Lucas before, when episode 7 came out, he was talking about that when he did the prequels, he was trying to give people something different. He didn't want to do the same things that he had done in 4, 5, and 6. So, and that was kind of the backlash, that it wasn't as familiar with people as they had with those films. So when he saw episode 7, he was like, you know what, that's what people wanted. They wanted something familiar. If I had done episode 7, I was going to give them something different, and that's not what people wanted. And then also he did this little cartoon musical thing that came out. I forgot the name of it. But that came out, nobody saw it because it was just kind of off the wall, didn't have any names that you knew of. And so I think if he's going to do something, it's going to be along those lines. He's going to pick a new property. It's going to be something completely different. But to be honest, the dude got made billions.
You don't have to do anything for the rest of his life, actually.
He could just sit home and just watch 4, 5, and 6, or he could sit home and watch 1, 2, and 3 and just say, ha ha, all the money I made off these films, and just keep going. So I don't expect him to do too much. I expect him to be Rick Moranis, where Rick Moranis sits back and says, like, I'm not retired, but I choose my roles carefully, and I want to do something. If I'm going to come back to do something, it's going to be something I want to do. So if George Lucas actually does come back for something, because what's really retired for directors? If he comes back for something, it's going to be something that he's really passionate about. Now, back to my original question, will Star Wars miss him? People were already asking the question, what would it have been like episode 7, what George Lucas involved? So I think Star Wars actually will miss him. I think by the time we get to episode 9, and we have no George Lucas anywhere around, he's not making comments, he's not being hinted or rumored towards something, I think at that point we'll have officially let him go. But for episode 8, his name's going to come up. Star Wars is going to miss him, but if we don't hear anything by episode 8, by the time episode 9 comes out, we're going to be it'll be the end of the breakup. We've already, we'll have already got through the rebound chicks. Episode 7, episode 8 was the rebound chick. Episode 9, we're ready to move on with a new relationship.
Well said, Terrence. Well said.
All right, so
I think that if they go and they start diving into those expanded universes and the Star Wars legends, I think he had part of that. If they start picking from those, I think there are going to be some subtleties that they're going to miss from him. I don't think that he had too much input in episode 7, but
No, he had none. He absolutely said he didn't use any of his eyes. Didn't use any of his ideas.
So maybe maybe consultant, but I seriously doubt it.
That's not even
I think
happening.
they're done.
They threw away all his ideas for episode 7. They're not using any of this stuff for episode 8. So, all right. So that brings us on to our next piece of news. And the biggest thing that happened else in Star Wars news was John Williams actually received the AFI Lifetime Achievement Award.
Awesome.
Which was great.
Good job, sir.
Because it's not only tied to Star Wars, but John Williams has done scores that are iconic for a whole bunch of films.
Jaws, Superman,
like, oh my God.
Man of Steel needed John Williams. Batman or Superman needed John Williams.
Everything needs John Williams. Everything needs John
Welcome to the Star Wars show.
Everything needs John Williams. And like you said, there's other films outside of Star Wars that John Williams influenced with his scores.
Absolutely.
But the major influence was with Star Wars.
And he will be back for 8.
He's going to be back. He will not. He actually made a comment that he doesn't want anybody to do Rey's music. So that's one of the things that's really great. He feels dedicated and obligated. No, I wouldn't say. I was trying not to say obligated, but he feels like he has to, what's the word? Loyal to Star Wars, to where he doesn't want anybody else to have to take over his legacy.
That was a big part. I think that was a big part of his success. So why not? Why would you want somebody else to take over your baby? That type. Same question could be posed to George Lucas, but music was a very integral part of Star Wars, so it's great to have him back.
Indiana Jones.
Again,
Indiana Jones.
Star Wars show.
All right. All right, so the next piece of news is episode 8. I don't know if it officially wrapped, but our director actually had come out, posted some pictures on Twitter saying that they were nearing the end of production. This was roughly about a week ago that this actually came out, so I would assume in that amount of time that we actually got to the end of production, or at least principal production, because as we know with the recent reshoot thing that's going on with Rogue One, there's obviously going to end up being reshoots for Star Wars films. But knowing that we're near the end of knowing that we're at the end of principal production, does it make you feel ready or a little like more anxious for episode 8 to come out?
Partially, yes. I'm more anxious for Rogue One.
Okay.
Right now, because that's the one that's going to be coming out.
Okay.
So when Rogue One finishes and then December comes and goes and we're already in 2017, that's when the anticipation for episode 8 is going to hit. And I think that it's going to be the anticipation for it's going to be even bigger than episode 7. My opinion, only because they want to know about there are certain plots, the parts of the plots that they want to know the answers to questions that they have. So I think it's going to be bigger, maybe not as big as episode 7 because that's bringing Harrison Ford back. But now we get Luke in that same role, possibly Lando. So, it's going to be huge. But in 2017, right now, Rogue One.
Okay, but that makes me think of a different question then. So with them being so close and with an announcement like saying, hey, we're wrapping production on something. Normally in a situation for Star Wars, hey, we're wrapping production, the frenzy would start to build up for a Star Wars film. But because we're now having Star Wars films come out every year, do you think it gets overshadowed by the other Star Wars films that are coming out?
So as far as the spin-offs?
Yeah, so like when Rogue One comes out, we're still talking about Rogue One getting ready to come out, and then like we have an event like this would have normally taken over like a news story where principal photography is being done. It's now just kind of like a small footnote. Do you think that they're overshadowing each other by coming out so closely?
Yes and no. Yes, because episode 8 is it's more of an event than Rogue One is. That's just my opinion. Some would say different, as far as Rogue One.
So with that being said, shouldn't episode 8 had really been a big marquee thing as far as like, oh my God, it's done. We're like next year we're gonna have another Star Wars. We're gonna have episode 8 out next year.
And that's why I say that it's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, but not until January or February.
And that's why I said it's like. So do you think they overshadow? They take away the buzz from each other?
A little bit, but still, I think it's equal. I think the anticipation for both is equal because we haven't seen Vader.
So you think that the fan base is basically hungry enough that they can it doesn't matter that they're coming out so closely.
Yeah, because remember, I mean, everybody was like all pumped up for episode 7 because Harrison Ford was back.
Right.
Curious about what part Luke was going to play. Now it's Vader. Vader has not been on screen for 20 plus years. This is the first time that Vader's going to be seen. if Hayden Christensen is Vader for sure,
He is not.
but if he is, that's even more of an anticipation because of the continuity, for continuity purposes.
Okay.
That's going to be a really big thing. The scenes, the battle scenes, everything is just making it really, really something that everybody wants to see.
Okay.
Now, once that is done, and now we're getting ready for
So
December,
when we come down from the high from Rogue One,
Then the high for episode 8
basically
hits.
we get back on the back.
because you got to remember, by then we'll probably have a teaser. By then we'll have a teaser, or we might even have a teaser trailer in the Rogue One.
That's a good thing. That actually brought me to another question: is that do you think that even though, or actually what you just said, if Rogue One releases, that they would even do a trailer for Episode 8 in Rogue One? Because
Absolutely. Why would you want?
why would you steal the thunder from Rogue One?
You're not. You're actually adding it because a teaser is a few seconds, or a minute, if that. So it's one of those things like, don't forget, we have Episode 8 coming out. So it'll still be in the back of your mind, especially if it's the very last trailer. If it's the last trailer right before feature presentation, and then
You don't think that would distract from the audience?
No,
though?
it'll be like, oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait for Rogue One. Oh my
Now-
God, Episode 8!
Yeah,
And then it's like,
I can't wait. Now let's get ready for Rogue One. And then after that, same as last
Or would it
year.
confuse the audience? It was like, I'm getting ready to show you something that now takes place 30 years in the future, right before you see this film.
Millennials, yes. Regular Star Wars fans, absolutely not. Everybody already knows this. The Geek Fest will commence, and it'll be one of those things where the anticipation is going to grow no matter for what show.
Okay.
Right now you mentioned, now one of the things you and our good buddy Marcellus Cole, Geek Father, Blurred Nerds, check it out. One thing that you guys mentioned was about the importance of having a different tone, because the reshoots were calling for Rogue One to be a
Right.
little bit more humorous, a little bit more in tone with the rest of the saga.
Right.
With this new adaptation of it being a little bit more darker and focusing on the actual fight and the battle and the plans to get the Death Star and all that, that in itself is going to cause so much anticipation because they want to see a different side to the Star Wars universe. No Anakin Skywalker, or no Jedi fights, no nothing like that. Yeah, you'll have Darth, but nothing revolving around Skywalkers. This is just, a battle scene or a battle that's going to happen to try to take these plans, and Vader's one of the main antagonists. That's the biggest thing. So I think it's going to be the in thing. And once it comes out, then boom, Episode 8.
Actually, I kind of want to, for me with the trailer, if we do happen to get a trailer around that time, I would rather it be after Rogue One. I don't want to double stack my excitement. I want to be on the full buzz of Rogue One. Once it kind of dwindles down, when we start talking about Rogue One getting ready to come out on video, then that's when I want to get an Episode 8 trailer and be like, oh my God, pique my buzz again. Like, I'm already ready for Star Wars again. Plus, it's not coming out till December anyway.
Right.
So
why not have?
you might as well wait. You might as well wait to
Okay, what about
April, May before you come out with that trailer
If
anyway.
it's a teaser, though, if it's just a teaser before Rogue One, I don't think it'll take away from Rogue One. Okay. If it's a teaser.
Okay. I mean, I'd rather wait. I want to spread out my excitement. He wants it all. He wants Christmas all in one. But
No, I do not.
I want to open all my presents.
But if I had,
I want to Hanukkah it. I want 12 days.
But if I had a glimpse,
You just want to peek in the package. You just want to peek in the
if I'm
package.
getting a pool table for Christmas and I see a pool cue, I mean that's interesting. What kind of pool table am I
I guess I
getting?
could have said Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa has presents spread out too. So I'm going to Kwanzaa it.
Next.
Well, actually, that leads us in a great transition to fan theories. All right, so one of the fan theories that's currently going on right now, and I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity to see it on, well, actually, you did get an opportunity to see it online because we prep before we do these shows. And one of the fan theories, and you guys got to forgive me because I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now,
On its phone.
on my phone because I don't like to write notes. So because I don't like to write notes, I'm going to pull it up on my phone to where I can just read it off. All right, so
Welcome to a Star Wars show.
number one Star Wars podcast.
One podcast. Star Wars podcast.
All right, so one of the fan theories that are going on right now is that we got basically a little bit of a leaked script or a leaked scene from the upcoming Episode 8 script. And the details of it kind of talk about Rey's lineage, I guess we want to say that. So I'm going to read a little bit for you guys, so that way you kind of get the gist of what we're going if you haven't seen it online. And basically it starts off, it says, in a scene with Luke, Luke tells Rey that the Jedi Council became arrogant and that they were hiding a secret, which led to their demise. The old Jedi Master takes Rey's hand and shows the old Jedi Master takes Rey's hand and shows her a glimpse into the past. They see two children playing near a tree on an alien planet. The boy noticed that he had greater strength and intuition than when he was closer to the tree. The girl noticed that the tree also made her brother increasingly angry. One day, an argument breaks out between the children. The boy kills the girl. The boy touches the tree and is transformed. He kills his parents and leaves the planet. Meanwhile, the girl is revealed to be alive, transformed by the tree, using her power to start the first Jedi Order.
So that's basically Kylo Ren. And he thinks she's dead. So in episode 7, when he says, "What girl?" that's why he freaks out.
Because he thinks she's dead.
Because she thinks she's dead. And Luke is actually the one that puts her on Jakku and then goes into exile because he knew that she was already strong with the Force.
Right.
And there was a prophecy concerning not necessarily the one that was going to bring balance to the Force, but the one that was like just the absolute chosen one.
Okay, so there was a little bit more with it. So the second part was that the girl explains how the Force can be used for both good and evil. She tells her followers that one day she would return as either a boy or a girl and that she would train this child. Luke tells Rey that the Jedi Order has been searching for the one reincarnation of the original founder of the Jedi for millennia. When they found Anakin, they thought it would bring balance to the Force, and the Jedi were deceived, which brought about the Clone Wars. The scene also shows Rey's parents, and Luke is not the father. He also tells her that she was identified as strong with the Force, and she was supposed to begin her training, but never reached her destination for an unknown reason. In the scene, Luke gives Rey a choice, and she has till sunset to make it. So, in this leak fan theory plot thingy, it also says that Luke is not her father. How do we feel about her not being him not being the father?
I sense a Maury celebration.
Are not the father.
Is he dancing on stage?
He's dancing on stage. He's
doing backflips.
He's pulling a Tom Cruise on Oprah.
Dancing on the couch.
Dancing on the couch. You are not the father. I think it's interesting, actually. The whole thing. That because if you have not seen Terrence's Rey theory, you need to look it up. It's on YouTube. It's on our Goods channel. But you mentioned about Kylo Ren being the one to put her there. This one pretty much says
says that he didn't put her there.
He did not put her there.
He just takes off. He was like he freaks out.
He thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
Do you think that according to the leak that's exactly what they're talking about? That it's Kylo
it ties
and Rey
in a little bit
at
better.
The tree, or
I mean, if this is true, because we always have to preface that if this is true as a fan theory or as a actual leaked script, then it actually does tie in pretty well for the movie because he's surprised that she's there. And as far as her being a Force user, he comes along. You can see in his eyes like, I know who you are, kind of thing. But I was kind of hoping that, I'm actually better that it's not Luke as her father. That was the thing that I actually took away, that Luke was not her father, because they did a hard sell on it in the movie to where like it didn't make sense for them to kind of keep hinting like Luke's her father, Luke's her father.
But I'm not feeling the reincarnation thing.
Well, it's once again we just talked about them actually kind of retelling stories and giving you something that's familiar. If we do the reincarnation thing, it's basically a callback to episode 1 or episode 3 when he had the conversation with Anakin about
midichlorian. Not playing.
When we got the looks from Palpatine and about creating life and stuff like that. So it kind of calls back to that. So
she's Plagueis.
I'm not big about the reincarnations and clonings and stuff like that, but it also kind of gives you the insinuation that they're still kind of related. That there's a
strong
better
possibility.
if we can't, because in the movies it left you with Han and Leia are not her parents, and if we get with this that Luke is not her parents, and it says that who her parents are, it shows who her parents are. It always either kind of makes you think that it's somebody totally off in the distance for Star Wars, which really bothers me, because you can't build somebody up and say like these are the strongest Jedi ever, and then like wait, over here is the strongest Jedi ever, and they're gonna make this strong Jedi right here. So that bothers me, but
I think they're throwing
it's still saying it's tied. They're tied together somehow.
I think they're throwing you for a loop.
Because if they can't say that Kylo is created as well, because they already claimed him. Han and Leia already claimed him.
Right.
So if they can't say that he's created as well, then she's his sister.
Something, but I really think they're cousins. I still think that Luke's the father. Now, J.J. Abrams
Cousins
said...
from what? Another brother that's out there?
J.J. Abrams said that Rey's parents are not in Episode 7.
He backtracked on that too.
Parents, plural.
He backtracked.
He didn't say anything about parent.
He backtracked.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
He's like, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. Well, either way, we're all going to be excited about when we actually get to see Episode 8 and they actually give us a little bit more information in regards to it. I actually kind of think they stall us out. I don't think they actually tell us who the parents are until we get to Episode 9. I think they make us wait.
I think she turns.
Now, that was a great thing. Another theory that was out there that was going on is that her character would actually make... So, in both trilogies, we saw turning back from the dark side to the light.
Dark side.
Or actually, in 4 through 6, from the dark side to the light. And then 1, 2, 3, we got to see from the light to the dark. What if we see the arc on both sides at the same time? What if we see Kylo Ren redeemed after he killed Han? I know that's
I was about to say, you can't...
After he kills Han, there's now... Hey, but hold up. Anakin slaughtered the Padawans. He slaughtered the Padawans. He killed kids.
But they were young.
He killed kids. We don't care about kids.
We don't care about them. We weren't attached to them. We were attached to Han.
All right. Kylo killed one person.
All right, let me ask you this.
Anakin killed kids.
Let me ask you this. When you walked out of Sith, did you walk out of that theater, man, all them kids?
Yes!
Or when you walked out of Force Awakens, did you really say, damn, man, Han, it brought me down, and like, damn, Han.
I was more concerned about all the kids that he killed, plus the fact, knowing that, okay, he killed all these kids, then he killed all the Tusken Raiders.
Oh, that's fine. Now,
by the way, Anakin Skywalker is a mass murderer.
This is awful.
Before he even became Vader.
No, he was already Vader when he killed the kids.
Oh, man.
They got you Darth Vader. But they never showed him kill the kids. They just showed the
They never showed you kill it, or they kind of cut away from the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, but they showed him kill Han.
That's only because it was PG-13, and it was like...
It don't matter. He's still, that's pretty... Anyway, so go ahead.
So, but it's awesome to see that they would do, if this is true, that it would be possible to see 2 arcs at the same time.
In 8, and then redemption on both in 9?
Yeah, no. All the way, and I think that in 9, that maybe we go on with, if this is true, they keep prefacing that, if this is true, that we see Rey as the villain going into the last movie.
Maybe.
Or Rey is the villain going into a new trilogy.
Or maybe we are not even gonna, maybe we are seeing the birth of the new trilogy after this one. And they're actually, instead of they're doing that prequel right now. This is considered the prequel to the next
Possibly.
one. But maybe they're throwing us for a loop, and neither one of them. And it's somebody else entirely.
I mean, because we don't really talk about Snoke at all.
Yeah, they bust out a hot rod holding the becoming Rodimus Prime. You got
the number 1 Star Wars podcast on YouTube. All right. So guys, I think that's all we got as far as fan theories. Let us know your fan theories that are currently going on right now.
Hey, you didn't see that coming. You didn't see Hot Rod becoming Rodimus Prime.
I was a kid. The number 1 Star Wars podcast on YouTube. Let us know your fan theories that you currently hear out there, because we like to hear about interesting ones, things that are currently going on. If you guys can think of something, things that you picked up, things that you heard, or maybe you figured it out, let us know in the comments below. We'll talk about it on the next show when we talk about fan theories. So make sure always that you like, comment, subscribe, let us know down below. And subscribing is probably the best way that you know about when different things come out. We do Star Wars podcast probably about every other week, so we try to wait till we get enough Star Wars news so that we can bring it to you all at once. But that's all I got. So Manny,
But
he normally does this thing with me and he yells out my name. I'm not going to yell at his name, so send us home.
oh god. Well, just like you, I mean, you pretty much had the close on everything. Put some stuff on Twitter, put some stuff on Facebook. Let me know, or let us know anything that you want to talk about revolving around this new theory. There's a lot more theories out there that we have not probably even heard of. So be sure that you guys keep an ear out and let us know. So hopefully we can actually throw that out there in the show and then put some more detail on it and shine it up for you. Real nice. For Aspen in the back, I'm Manny.
I'm Terrence.
May the force be with you.
All right.
On the #1 Star Wars show. Oh, that was freaking hilarious.